Today, I'll be commenting from Neville Goddard's 1968 lecture, Power. And while I comment, please enjoy the wonderful yakiniku meal my darling husband and I had in Japan. Yakiniku is the Japanese version of Korean barbecue, and it's very popular in Japan. In this lecture, Neville gives advice to unmarried ladies if they want to marry. The same can apply to unmarried men who also want to marry. And he told these ladies if they applied the advice, he'll come out of nowhere. You don't have to go through anyone. You don't have to even try to meet the right person. And Neville said, when you try to meet the right one, he often ends up being the wrong one. So don't go searching, because those who go searching for love only make manifest their own lovelessness. And the loveless never find a love. Only the loving find a love, and they never have to seek for it. So you fall in love, you don't have to seek for it. You draw them. They come to you. In other words, capture that feeling of the wish of already being happily married, and those feelings will be the nectar that bring the sweet honey bees. Because when people don't feel it as though it's already so, they tend to come from a place of desperation, of not feeling loved. And they may attract love, but as Neville said, it's often not the love that you are looking for. So do it right, and be the love that you want to attract in your life. As Neville teaches, ask yourself, how does it feel to be so gloriously, wondrously loved? And how does it feel then to shine and glow in such eternal, profound love? Wear this feeling, revisit it, bring it into sleep, and love will find you. And you can do this with anything that you want. And Neville also talks in this lecture, when people feel that their love has to be a specific person, no other will do. Neville felt in doing so, you can mess everything up. Neville says, I've had people tell me, I want that man and no other man. I said, no, you don't want him, you want to be happily married. You don't want that man or no man. Oh yes, that man or no man. Then of course, this always shocks them. I say, if he dropped dead right now, would you want to be married? Well, he isn't going to drop. I didn't ask you that. If he dropped right now, or if he is right this very moment accused of being the world's greatest thief or murderer, do you still want him? Well, now why ask those questions, Neville? I want that man. But you see, it isn't that man. They want to be happily married. I've gone to so many weddings where it was either that man or none, and it wasn't that man. And they are embarrassed when they see me standing in the aisle, because it had to be that man or no man. And here it isn't that man at all. And they walk down, they are happily with their new mate, but a little sheepish as they pass by, because they know, I know, he was not the man. Now in Neville's case, he did specifically marry the person he wanted to marry, but remember, their feelings were mutual. The problem they had standing in the way had nothing to do with their feelings towards each other. They both knew they wanted to be with each other. Neville knew from the first moment he saw her, but her feelings reciprocated. And this is especially for those who want someone who doesn't reciprocate the feeling, who may even be in another relationship and be happy in that relationship. So why not just go straight to the end, to the element of what you truly want, that you're happily married to a wonderful person that ticks all the right boxes, and you do the same for him or her. And Neville goes on to talk about what type of relation he feels makes a marriage. It doesn't have to be a movie star. Often you find a lot of cheating and divorces anyways among celebrities. And Neville says what you want is when your beloved comes home, the house is full. And when he comes home and you're not there, he feels the house empty. Now this may not be the love that all people seek, but this was the love that Neville did. And probably deep down, many other people would want this love as well. A love that is so important that their presence or absence is felt, and vice versa. Neville says, if I come home and Bill is not home, even if I have friends at home, I may have a party going on, a cocktail party, 10 people, 12. Where's Bill? Well, she isn't here. The whole thing is empty until she comes. And if she goes out and says, I'll be back at 5, and she isn't there at 5, but she comes back at 6. Well, between 5 and 6, I am not quite myself. Where is she? Everyone should have that sort of relationship. The house is empty when the mate isn't there, male or female. If I could come home, and it didn't matter whether she was there or not, what on earth am I doing being married? If she isn't there and it makes no difference to me whether she is or not, well then, that's not a marriage. And that's what a happy marriage feels like to Neville, and that's what he got in his second and final marriage. And whatever it is that means a happy marriage to you, you can feel that as though it already was so, and let that feeling bring that love to you. And finally, in Neville's lectures in the question and answer period, there are some times that Neville does recommend to be specific. Neville says, "I believe in being as specific as one can be. I just knew what I wanted so often on certain things and wanted it in detail and got it. If man cannot be that specific, all well and good, take an end, an overall end. But if you really are specific, God, being the imagination, is very definite. Outline is perfect in God's world. Look at the thumbprint. Not only a man's thumbprint differs from all thumbprints, but his odor, or the bloodhound couldn't find you. Just imagine, well, in today's time, nearly 8 billion of us, and no two have the identical odor. No two have the same sound to their voice, similar but not identical. So in the end, you are so unique. You are the only one. Therefore, you cannot be replaced. There is no one in all of eternity as you." And now as we go into the silence, if you already have a beloved, let us freshen up and bring that love even more so alive. And if you don't yet have your beloved in your life, let us feel that beloved already energetically in your life. How does it feel to have such a wonderful love in your life? A love that reflects the overflowing love within your own nature. And now, let us go into the silence. Good.